quackers. How many times do I gotta tell you, don't mess with my polka music? What? Oh, hey, it's you! Hey, you guys ready to go for another adventure? Well, alright. Let's get going. Again, another beautiful day in the Mojave Desert. Yes, that's right. This time I pronounced it correctly. All you folks gave me such a hard time for that. Well, hey, you know, that's what happens when you were born in the East. Actually, I should say you were born in the Midwest. You grew up in the Western United States. And I guess somewhere along the way I got my tongue stuck in the mud. That's why I talk kind of funny. But take a look at here. So we're coming up another old road, and there is restricted travel up in this area. And you know, as always, you should look for clues before coming into an old site. The clues will give you an idea of how substantial a site's going to be. I mean, for example, like this rock wall, it's 8 feet tall. It was all built by hand, and if the miners or the company was able to put that, you know, wanted to put that much work into this just to build a road up in here, then the mine must be something significant. So I like to look for clues long before I ever even get to a new site. Clues like that, old cans, old bottles, trying to narrow down the date. That's what's always fun. So we got to hike up this road here, and from my old maps, we've got road goes up. Actually, you can see it on top of the hill over there. It looks to be there's two significant mines, and then once again a whole bunch of adits that are dotted up the mountain on the other side of this one that you're looking at right here. So once again, I got my work cut out for me. We're going to be doing a bunch of billy goating today, because I want to try to make it to the highest, most adit on top of that mountain, because how many people are going to walk all the way up there? I mean, I don't know what the altitude is. I'll find out when I get there. Maybe it's about 3,000 feet. But as I always say, the best mines are the ones that are absolutely the hardest to get to, because not too many people want to climb up a mountain to walk into a hole. So let's work our way up this road, and if I find something cool, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit record. Well, we made it to a crossroads here. So we've got a road that goes up around this side of the mountain, and over here, this is the main road going up to what I believe is the main mine location. Now, looking on Google Earth, it would appear that that adit, there's another adit up here. It is actually almost parallel with the mine that we're going to up and over this mountain on the other side. So with any luck, this will be more than just an adit. It'll be an actual tunnel. As you all know, a tunnel is a mine that enters from one location, goes completely through the mountain, and comes out another location. If it does that, that's called a tunnel. If it just has one entrance and one exit, that's an adit. Okay, let's keep walking up this road here. You know, sometimes half the fun is just getting there, right? And there's some folks out there that are saying, oh, just hurry up and get to it already. Calm down, calm down. Hey, it's all part of the adventure. All right, we're headed that way. Oh my gosh, folks, look at this road. Yeah, like you said, you can't see it on the camera because everything's two-dimensional, but this is probably about a 60% grade, 50-60% grade up the side of this mountain, and way up there you can see the waste rock piles. So still got a ways to go yet. You just sit back in your comfy chair, pour a cup of coffee, crack open a cold beer or a soda, for you folks out west, a pop, and you just watch me do all the work. Not to mention looking out for rattlesnakes. That's right, they're out now. You know the old saying, if you can see ants on the anthills, that means it's warm enough for there to be snakes on the rocks. So we got to watch out for those critters. Now some of you are wondering, hey Gly, how come you have a tennis ball on the end of your walking stick? Right there, see? I'm sure you all seen it by now. Well, first, you guys probably all thought because I'm old and codgerly. That's right. First step is tennis balls on your walking stick. Second step is tennis balls on your walker. So, hopefully, by the time I have to break out the walker, maybe I'll have 1 million subscribers, and they'll all be watching from their old folks' home. Anyways, what I was saying is, you gotta watch out for rattlesnakes. So the reason I got this tennis ball on here is, okay, so you're walking along, right? And all of a sudden, if you're lucky enough, a rattlesnake will buzz maybe 1 meter, 2 meters away from you. What's the first thing you do? You stop. You stop. You don't move. You figure out where he is and how close he is to you. Okay? So once you figure out where he is, like let's say he's right over there. Okay? Now what if you were in a situation where you were blocked by rocks or trees, and the only way to get past that snake is to get even closer, unfortunately? Well, that's where Mr. Tennis Ball comes in here. See? Here's what I do. Okay? I'll go like this in the dirt, okay? I'll keep my eye on the snake. Yeah. Well, I'm warming up that tennis ball because it's made out of rubber. And I got my eyeball on that snake. Okay. All right, now we warmed up the tennis ball. And what are our snakes attracted by? Well, they're attracted by heat. Mice are warm. I just made my tennis ball warm. So now, as I work my way past that snake's tongue and senses are going to be locked in on that tennis ball instead of me. And if he strikes the tennis ball, well, it's made out of rubber. It ain't going to hurt him. That's important too. We don't need to hurt rattlesnakes. They're out here doing their job. They're keeping the mice population down. But that's how I can get away from that rattlesnake, work my way away from him, and continue on. Just a little trick I learned a long time ago. But to be honest with you, to this day, I have yet to have to put it to use. because all the ones I've come up on, especially over there down along the banks of the Colorado River, holy cow, that's the most rattlesnakes that I've ever seen in all my years of hiking, just below the Hoover Dam. But all those I was able to just skirt around without any problem. So, tip for the day: tennis ball, walking stick. It might save you, and it saves the rattlesnake from getting hurt too. Let's keep going up this road. Now take a look at, we're almost there, folks. See there? There's an Orban. I see a big Orban up there. And over here, I see a collapse on the road. Part of the cliff fell down. And over there, right over there on that side of the hill, there's another collapse where they had a landslide and the cliff fell down. Why is that? Well, as always, I do a lot of research before I go to an area. Hopefully, so I'm not wasting my time going to an area that's either closed or you can't get to it, or it isn't really worth anything, wasting a bunch of time. But this location here isn't too far from the San Andreas Fault. And if you look in your history books, back in, I think it was 94, they had what was called the Northridge quake. And, ooh, pretty. Look at there. The Northridge quake, it's a pyrite for all you out there. Northridge quake hit this area pretty hard. So as I'm working my way up this road, I'm seeing a lot of places where there was landslides. It looks like recent, within the last 20 years or so. So makes you wonder what we're going to find once we get up to this old mine. It could be one with a bunch of collapses in it, but we'll see. I'll meet back up with you when we get to the Orban. See you over there. Okay, one more thing about rattlesnakes before we get to this beautiful Orban here. Rattlesnakes, watch out for those Mojave greens. That's right. You get bit by a Mojave green, you're going to be floating up into the clouds playing the harp, just like Buster Scruggs. So watch out for those. How can you tell the difference between a Mojave green and a diamondback rattlesnake? The white stripes on the tail of a Mojave green will be bigger than the black stripes. That's what they tell me. And that is what I saw when I was searching old mines down along the Colorado River. They're easy to spot. They look a lot different than a typical diamondback rattlesnake. So white stripes bigger than the black stripes in the tail, Mojave green. Black stripes bigger than the white stripes, typical diamondback rattlesnake. Do the best you can not to get bit by both. Put a tennis ball on your walking stick, or wear snake chaps. I'm not wearing mine today. Probably should have. Look at here. Isn't that a beautiful sight? Think about all the work it took to haul that lumber up here. We got an adit. Had an adit down here in the bottom. And, oh yeah, I can see it just making it out right there. Oh, excuse me. Took a drink of water. And an adit right up there. You can just see the top of it, which is probably the primary ore pass that was coming out to this ore bin here. So yeah, you know what I'm gonna say as I catch my breath. Let's gear up, lay out the spotter flag, and we'll start with this one first. See you in a minute. Okay, well, we are just about ready to go into this old mine. Now, on my last video, I guess I didn't explain myself too well. There was some of those people out there in the crowd that were kind of concerned about me going into these old mines by myself. Well, you know, I do this by myself because there's nobody else to do it with me. A lot of my friends are either retired, they're not anywhere near me, or they're working, they can't get time off of work, or they have physical disabilities that would prevent them from billy goating up the side of a mountain like me. There's so many things that it's a hassle. I would just rather come out here, do it myself, and that way it's just me and you. It's just me and you good folks. So anyways, what I do, real quick, I'll make it real quick. What I do is, okay, back at base camp, I leave a piece of paper, big piece of paper, okay? And on that piece of paper, it says the description of old Bob, the description of myself, license plates, longitude and latitude of where I'm going to be, right down within 3 meters of the added location, phone numbers, who to call, when to call. If my neighbors don't see old Bob back in the back at base camp within a certain amount of time, they know there's a problem. They have a phone number to call. They call that number. Sheriff shows up. They hand him that piece of paper. They take that piece of paper. They hand it over to search and rescue. The guys at search and rescue put some numbers into his GPS coordinates and immediately finds my location. Then at that point, they have an option. They can either head out here with a truck and walk up to this location to find me, or they can get into a helicopter and head up into the sky. And if they do that, that's actually better, because then they can spot this flag from above. So what I do is, like I said here, nice bright piece of cloth, and then I've got Mr. Flashy here. See, turn on Mr. Flashy, 2 clicks. 2 clicks, see, he's flashing, see that? Flash, flash, flash. Okay, I put Mr. Flashy right here, because what if it's at nighttime, huh? What if it's dark? Now, it don't look very bright right now, but that sucker's bright at night. And then, one more thing. I leave a note card, okay? On this note card is specific information as to what day it is. What time did I enter the mine? Okay, there. That's so that when search and rescue shows up, they can walk up to this flag here, they grab that note card and they go, oh, he walked in at this time. That means he's been in there for a certain number of hours. Information is crucial, okay? Then they walk over here and they see my backpack and some other stuff, whatever I have laying about, and it's near the entrance, near the tunnel that I'm going in. Okay, now with all of that, that gives them a faster response time to come and rescue me if indeed I need rescuing. Let's hope that never happens. I'm not new at this game, folks. Trust me at that. I've been going in and out of these mines since the 80s. And in future videos, not today, I will lay out all of the goodies that I take with me on each and every one of these adventures to mitigate the dangers and increase the safety factor. Okay, you wouldn't jump out of an airplane without a parachute, right? I know some people have done it, but you wouldn't jump out of an airplane with a parachute. You wouldn't go inside of a 50, 60, 100-year-old mine without certain safety equipment, okay? Just like a parachute might fail, yeah, your safety equipment might fail. There is dangers to this hobby, there's no doubt about that, but there's also dangers to driving down the highway at 75 miles an hour when there's only 4 to 6 feet between you and the next oncoming car that's coming at you at 75 miles an hour. So if you calculate the statistics, you're probably safer walking into that mine, but I don't recommend it. So the next person, the next YouTuber I see walking into a mine wearing Vans tennis shoes or socks and sandals with a toe ring, boy, I just want to reach. Okay, let's get on with it. That's enough blibber blabbering. Let's go into that old mine. Okay, well, old Maxwell House coffee can. And see there, Kilroy was here in April of 42, and turn down the light a little bit here so you can see. Rob was here in June of 85. All right, Rob. You climbed all the way up this mountain too. So, there's some old canvas laying on the ground here. And I got a pole here spread from side to side, steel pole. Ugh. The tube stuck to it. I don't know what that's all about, but hey. Yeah, this one here is a little bit more crumbly. I got stuff falling off the back of the mine. And goes left and right here. Let's go to the right. What's this here? Old pack of cigarettes. Cigarette wrapper. Anything else up in this little, looks like a exploratory adit. What's that? Hold on. Oh, that's another tamping rod. And oh, here they were using, point this out to you, another clues to give you what kind of mine we're dealing with. That's a 2-inch borehole, almost a 2.5. There's one there. No, there you go. It's a 2-inch. 2-inch borehole. They were getting serious in this mine. Yeah. They wanted to blast it out quick. A lot of mines, you look at the boreholes and they're not much bigger than the diameter of a stick of dynamite, which is, I don't know, what, about 1.25 inches? There's some rail on the ground here, and a small collapse. What do we got up here? And that's it. Just some scraps of wood is all. And a couple more bore holes. So, what do you suppose this was? Well, I'll tell you what it was. I can figure it out already. So they put this in the side of the mountain here, right next to the ore bin, and this was probably used to keep their tools and equipment, explosives, etc., etc., etc. This was kind of, think of it like a tool bin. That's all. So let's head on out of here and climb up the hill and see what that next one's all about. I'll meet you up there. All right, well, we just came from down there, and look what we've got up here. Beautiful Orban with about 24 gauge tracks leading out onto it. And that look old and rickety, huh? And right down there, that's where we just came from. That was, let's just call it the tool bin adit. This is pretty cool. So they'd roll the ore carts out there, pull the lever and dump it down, and haul it out of here in trucks. So I saw some old oil cans climbing up the hill here. I think that tells me that this location, again, we are in the 1940s. This goes right up here to the ore pass. Here's an old, what's this here? Drill steel. And it had a name on it I just saw. Let's get it into the sun here where we can see it. There. Right there. I can't pronounce it. C-R-U-S-C-A. Kruska. Okay, we've got our spotter flag up. Let's go take a look at this old mine. Right here we got a big block of concrete with some threaded studs in it. So at one time there could have been either a generator or even a winch to help winch out some ore cars. Could have been many different things. It was mounted there to help assist the miners either in their drilling efforts or pulling them heavy ore carts out of here. So we got here a little tag with a number 1 on it. And like all mines, you get a degree of erosion here at the entrance. And we're going to try to get past this without touching anything. There we go. And we've already come to our first ore bin. Yeah. Which has a considerable amount of rock laying on top of it. And there's a couple of isolators. Tells me that they had power in here at one time. Ooh, that looks sketchy. Let's let's be real careful. Let's crawl past this real slow here and not touch anything. There we go. Yeah, we're into some, we got another bunch of timbers holding up a whole bunch of really loose waste rock right here. And another tag on this mine. At one time, See, at one time this this big railroad tie used to be holding up this side. It's not no more. That fell down. Let's get out from under that real quick. That's pretty sketchy. And I do like a mine with rails. Don't we all? We all love mines with rails, right? Yeah, because that says that they're going to be a little bit bigger than usual, than your typical exploratory at it. All right, I got a little bit of a collapse here. Actually, oh, it's coming down. Okay, let me pan over here. Oh, this rock. Let's see where it's coming from. Oh, big stoped out section here. And up there too. They cleaned all that out. What is this? A party balloon. What in the world? You know, that is. It certainly is. That's got to be about the third party balloon that I have found in mines over the last 3-4 months. I guess somebody out there is either we got pack rats that are dragging them in here, or somebody out there has watched way too many Stephen King movies. So we got two choices to make here, folks. Looks like we got one to the right and one to the left. One to the left goes, considerable way down there. And to the right with another big collapse. Well, there's some really crazy colors going on in here. I'm liking it. Lots of old wood hanging, holding up the ceiling and everything. Ooh. And wow. Let's try to get through here without touching anything. What do you say, huh? All these rocks come falling down. Look at they all fell down. They split that ladder. This whole thing come crumbling down at one time. Look at that. All right, real careful, guys. We don't want to be making any more noise. I haven't seen this much collapse in a mine in a long time. Look at this. Holy cow. This whole thing come down. Look at the size of this ballroom here. All the way up, all the way over there. Okay. And it goes way, way, way up there. This whole ceiling came down. Well, praise the Lord, let's hope none of it comes down on me today, right? So let's take it real slow and easy. I'm not even going to touch that beam. We're going to touch anything while we're in here. We're just going to carefully navigate these rocks. Without touching anything. Yeah, I would think that the earthquake that they had back in the 90s probably resulted from all of that collapse. Let's see what we have here. See what the miners did. Okay, I gotta catch my breath. They got a stole there holding up that gigantic rock. And yeah, there's some, see this paper down here? That is the wax paper lining that would have lined a dynamite box. And what do we have here? What's this? Regular grind. Oh, regular grind. It's a coffee. It's a coffee tin. And we're getting into another area with there's a stole. I can only imagine how much pressure is on that, so we're going to go through this area nice and slow. Nice and slow. You know, when I'm in here, there's an old can down there. I wish that they would have smell-o-vision, because this smells like potassium nitrate. If anybody's ever been to blasting, been around blasting, you know what I'm talking about. It stinks like potassium nitrate in here really bad. And that's the end of this. It looks like let me poke this up in here a little bit without all this falling on my head. It's really unstable. So yeah, because this hasn't been taken out of here like a traditional mine, that tells me it's just going to be a stope on the other side of that. And this rock above my head is just hanging here without any support. So let's err on the side of caution. Not press our luck going up into that little stope there. And so I'm going to work my way very carefully back to that other drift. I'll meet up with you over there. Okay, didn't quite make our way to that other drift. I wanted to point this out to you. That stope and how far it goes. They cleaned all this out, and then at one time, look down here, right there's an ore chute. So they were working, so that tells me there's some upper workings. If there's an ore chute, we'll have to climb up the mountain to go take a look at that. But all these rocks I'm standing on here, this is all collapse. But by the looks of how much dust is on it, it happened a long, long time ago. All right, let's get past this little area. semi freaking me out. I've seen worse. Okay. And now we're back. Now we're back to the Stephen King balloon. So what do you think? If we beam our light up there, are we going to see the see a clown? Ooh, I bet that'd scare you folks, wouldn't it? Yeah. No, I don't believe in such hoo-ha. Bunch of hooey. All right, this tunnel is really collapsed and crumbling. Let's take it real slow and easy, because all these rocks, for all I know, are just dangling here. Wow. Okay. And we've got our first bat for the day. You know, I don't care how many of those I've seen. They always startle you just a little bit. Oh, I try to catch my breath. Some of it is adrenaline. Oh, hey, hold on a second. Back up. Beep, beep. Look at here. There's a cool looking vein. Right there. And all the wire that they use to bring in power for lighting is all laying on the floor. Isn't this fun, folks? How much further do we got to go? I haven't seen any writing on the walls yet to indicate anything, how far the back of the mine goes. Ooh, now here we're in a big spot. Yeah, it's probably good 6 feet wide, 7 feet tall through here. Nice hard rock. Of course, we're always looking out for bad things to step on. And we've got rail going to the right. Well, that's interesting. Oh, so what they would have done here is, so they had an ore carts would go this way, and then they made a little bend here so that they could push an ore cart. It's called a siding, similar to like trains. It's a little siding. They could push an ore cart up here to let other ones pass. And for all you know, they could have, at one time, they were going to head off in that direction, and then they've decided not to. Here's a good example. Look right here. That is it's a slip fault. Okay, so it's where two rocks that eventually were horizontal at one time before the mountains uplifted, and then as the mountain uplifted, that layer right there and that layer right there slipped against each other as the mountain uplifted. Yeah, Mr. Bat, we're just coming to pay you a visit for one time. I know we didn't make reservations. Oh, you rummies. A beer can. When am I ever going to be able to get into a mine and not see a beer can? Probably left here by Rob back in 1985. He drove up the mountain listening to Def Leppard and Motley Crue, drinking beer. Let's go see some mines. Okay, Mr. Bat, don't worry. I'm not, it's okay. He says, get out of my home. And that's the end of this mine. They left their drill steel stuck right in there. See that? Right there. And that's as far as they went. So, let's just look back this direction. Where we just came from. That's it, folks. Wow, I really thought this was going to be a bigger one. I was hoping for it to be an actual tunnel meeting up with that adit on the other side of the mountain. Didn't quite turn out that way. And not very many artifacts laying on the ground either. So, all right, well, let's head back out of here. And if I see something cool, I'll hit record.